The following is a sponsored program. High Desert Broadcasting is not responsible for the views or claims expressed in this program.
There's lots of fun coming your way this weekend on U62.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. We've gone for main engine start. We have main engine start.
And welcome to AVNewsCast.com on News Talk 1380.
Good morning.
Morning.
Well, here we go. Let's continue what we were doing yesterday, because obviously, you know, one thing that everybody wants to talk about and has an opinion about is gun control in the wake of what happened in Connecticut. Before I get into that, though, so yesterday the Department of Justice announced and issued a press release that they have dropped all investigations into Paula Broadwell.
Huh. Really?
They dropped it all. They have no issues with her at all. They were looking into,
who else?
Her cyber
who else
stalking.
is implicated then?
Right.
It's still sitting in office.
They now, you know what?
How many other friends did she have?
I think somebody said, "Hey, you know what? Drop this thing."
Yeah. I'm telling you, it was going to go away. Susan took the hit, the biggest hit, and now it's done. Well, Petraeus did too, but he did it to himself.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know that he did it to himself. I mean,
well, he quit.
I know, and I don't think he had to.
He didn't have to, but he did it to himself. He still did it.
All right. So they've dropped it. Now, whether the FBI is still looking at her, that I don't know. The LA Times did a story today.
Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
Can I take it a minute longer? Because you're just not going to talk about how the mutant was playing Call of Duty in his basement and had all these posters all over his wall, and he was just obsessed with the game. You didn't hear that yesterday?
Well, but the flip side is, Bill Gates plays Call of Duty. He hasn't done anything.
What about the other 99% of Americans?
There's no flip side. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. So we changed the whole world for 1%.
Yeah. If we got a percent out there that's going to kill kids and kill people unnecessarily, then we need to look at what we're calling entertainment.
I'm a big boy. I
understand
can choose
that.
my own entertainment.
No, I totally understand that, and I'm just saying that we need to stop. We need to just stop being selfish as a community, as a whole, and say, you know what? Although I know that I have control over myself, and I'm not going to do that, there is lunatics out there that don't have that kind of control. So maybe
let's do it. Let's all just drink lukewarm coffee and eat Jell-O and tapioca with the spork, so we don't hurt anybody or anything.
Okay.
Let's just take everything away. Yes. Somebody might get hurt.
Now, okay, let's talk about the mutant. Okay, the mutant found out that his mom was going to have him involuntarily committed.
Yeah, she was going for conservatorship.
Okay. He also knows that she cared, or felt that she cared, more about the kids, her kindergarten kids.
What do you mean?
At that school,
it was a long time ago. Before it
was a year before. It was last year.
Then she cared about him. Okay, so he flipped. Now,
Call of Duty told him.
Let's talk about the violent video games. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 came out and did $1 billion in 24 hours. $1 billion, and one guy. You want to blame everything on one guy because he played that game.
Take it away.
What about all the other people that played that game and they didn't flip out?
I just don't understand why you're defending it. I don't understand what the benefit is.
I'm defending the erosion of my rights as a human being because everybody wants to make everything safe for everybody.
And that's a bad thing, to make everything safe for everybody?
At the expense of everything.
Of what?
I'm tired of everything being taken away from me.
Play shoot 'em up on TV? Come on.
Okay, I have one person, one listener, that sent me something that said, we need to do something about gun control, and people also don't realize that mental illness in America is an epidemic.
Yeah.
How are we going to cure that epidemic?
Well, I also heard last night on the news, this woman, because all these women are coming out of the woodwork saying, that's my son. I identify with that because my son has issues. And there was a psychologist on one of the shows that I was watching, and he said to her, is your husband in the house? And she said, no. And he goes, well, how did I know that? And he goes, I'm seeing that the common denominator in all these cases is that these are homes where the fathers are not present. And so his recommendation was to find a therapist for her son that was a male and make him like the big brother, of lack of another way to say it, but in the sense that at least he'll be able to understand and identify the triggers. And
there you go, parent, instead of taking away stuff from me. Actually do your job. If you're going to go out there and reproduce, then do your job.
I didn't see any evidence that she wasn't doing her job.
Okay.
Too late in the game, she was finally trying to do her job, and that's what...
No, I don't see any evidence that she wasn't doing her job. She just, there's just not enough options out there for sicko kids.
Well, she knew he was in that job. She shouldn't have taken him out shooting.
All right.
What about her job?
Okay. What about, somebody said yesterday, what about people that are violently mentally ill or schizophrenic that household is not allowed to possess guns?
That's really reasonable.
I'm fine with
Okay.
that.
All right. We've got a lot of callers coming in.
How about put them in a
let's
little...
take one.
All right.
Can we take
Put
one?
them in a box?
Hi, you're on AVNewsCast Live. Who's this?
Hi, I'd just like to say, I was listening to you, and you're saying you shouldn't have your rights taken away.
Right.
No one is taking away your rights. This is where you're mistaken.
Oh, okay,
like with a game, the game is violent, just like television movies are violent, television shows are violent. But that does not cause someone, actually to go out and shoot. Now, it may give you ideas, but no one is taking away your Second Amendment rights. All they're saying is let's not allow you to have a magazine. You can still have your gun, you can still have your rifle, but you don't need a semi-automatic rifle. That is not, every hunter has said you don't hunt a deer with a semi-automatic rifle. Okay. And what you need to remember is that person, that young man, went in there and he shot each one of those children multiple times with basically military-grade weaponry. You don't need that, and that is not taking away your rights. So you ought to be ashamed of yourself to say that.
And we were discussing video games, not about guns at all.
No. Hold on a second. The people, you have people who watch video games, and most video games are purchased, and the games are purchased by adults, not even kids. So you have...
Well, bad on them then. If your kid's unbalanced, you don't buy them the games.
Yes, but that has nothing to do with your kid being unbalanced. I'm saying the majority of video owners and buyers for the games, they average 35 years old. So This young boy, whatever he did, but I'm saying you made the statement and you said versus the game versus your rights. Your rights are not being taken at all. They're just saying, let's reduce the magazine. There's no reason for you to have a clip that has 100 rounds, for you to have a clip that has 50 rounds. Now, as long as you say, you know what, I agree with that, because you get to keep your shotgun and your weaponry. Just say, you know what, for the kids' sake, for people, when you're in a movie theater, no one should be able to come into a movie theater or a mall or a school and have that type of ammo where they can shoot 100 rounds and kill people. You know you don't need that for shooting.
So is it legal to take an assault rifle into a mall or a theater?
I beg your pardon?
Where in the United States is it legal to take a...
It's not. No, listen, that's the whole thing.
So you don't have that
legal.
right now?
No, listen, this is the deal. You can have your assault rifle, your rifle, but what they're trying to say is let's take away the clip. Let's not allow you to be able to shoot off 100 rounds at one time where no one can escape.
Okay,
so you can still have your gun. So no, that's the whole thing with these Second Amendment writers. It's like, oh, don't take my rights, don't take my guns. No one's trying to do that. They're just going for the general safety of the public. If you had a Glock and you shot off, say for instance 12 rounds, you would have to reload that gun, which gives people an opportunity to survive, other people to run. Those kids had no chance. And because it's kids, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Okay, now that's interesting. Now, from what you said, and this is Steve, by the way. From what you said, I gather that do you own a weapon?
No.
Okay, have you fired a weapon?
No, you know what? There's no reason to. Even with the Second Amendment, if you're shooting deer and you're a hunter, fine, whatever. But you know what? Most people, you die at the hand of your own weapon. And just like the dodo birds going, oh, let's arm the principals. The principal became a principal so they can administer and help children, not to shoot people.
No, I understand. And the reason I asked you if you owned a weapon was because it sounded like you were educated because you talked about owning a Glock and having to reload. Which is, why I asked. Now, typically, the original ban that we had on assault weapons that started back in 1998 and expired in 2004.
And that's under George Bush,
okay.
The Republican who allowed that to. It should have never expired. You should never have an assault weapon ban expired.
I understand. Now, but if we had still had that assault weapon ban in place, the gun that was used in Connecticut, which is the same weapon, the same weapon that was used in Aurora, Colorado, that was not on the ban list.
Okay, but listen to what I'm saying. I totally understand that, but everything is for safety. Just like you have a red light that you know that you're going to drive past a day, and you need to stop at that. There could be sometimes maybe at 10 o'clock at night that there are no other cars. And so you go, why do I need to stop? Sometimes it's for safety purposes. And all I'm saying is for a safety purpose. All we're saying is let's take away the magazine that holds 100 rounds. And it doesn't mean that it will cure every episode.
No, you're right. You're right. I'm actually telling you, that may actually be a solution.
It's just,
okay. But you know what? I don't have my gun for hunting. I have my gun to protect my family. And if somebody comes in and threatens my family, I'm going to put all 30 rounds in them, and they're going to have to clean them up with a sponge.
You know what? You really need to look at your heart because you know what? You shouldn't.
You tell me about my heart. You don't know anything about me.
You shouldn't even if someone came into your home to rob you or whatever. Yes, you should kill them. If that's what it takes. That say for instance, if they were truly trying to harm your family. But if someone tried to rob you and take a video recorder, you shouldn't want to shoot somebody 30 times. That's why I'm saying look at your heart. It's one thing if someone came in and if you were married or you have a wife or a son or a daughter, and someone was truly trying to do bodily harm. But because somebody tried to steal your television, you wouldn't want to shoot them 30 times.
But you know what?
But you don't know that when they're coming through your door.
You don't. And when someone...
Yeah, okay, I'm going to get in there and read their mind. How am I going to do that? You must be a much better person than me.
What's your intention? Yeah, you want to take them out the best way and the most exact way possible if they're coming through your window.
Oh, my goodness. I cannot believe you guys are saying that. So then don't say anything when the police officer shoots someone and then they don't ask.
They're trained. No, that's a completely different situation in my opinion because I'm not trained to be able to deal with something in that nature. And so I'm going to take up whatever's next to me to protect myself in the most.
And you have to shoot them 30 times?
Well, if when I pull that trigger, 30 bullets come out.
But that's what I'm trying to say. It shouldn't be 30 bullets.
No, I mean, I'm not. Listen, I don't own a gun, and I don't want to shoot a gun. I'm not part of that at all. But I don't think that taking the guns off the streets is the answer because the people that give them up is not gonna, that whole thing. But hold on, let me just finish my point. But I do believe that regardless to what you own, there should be a psychological evaluation of every family member that's in that house. There should be a committee that comes out arbitrarily throughout the year whenever they want to make sure that your guns are locked up in the most secure manner. Because this woman owned this gun legally. She had we're assuming that the guns were locked up to the best of her ability, but maybe it wasn't the best of our capability. And maybe if we had someone checking that, it would have prevented this young man of getting to her gun.
Maybe it could be the same committee that comes out and checks for GMO foods.
Here we go.
There you go.
You are out of your mind to equate something so trivial.
Okay.
You know what's going on.
Caller that's on the air, I do agree. I think perhaps magazines may be the answer. It may be the compromise in this whole situation.
Compromise.
Okay, and I think at this point, maybe everybody is looking for some sort of a compromise.
That's it. That's all it is. It's just a compromise. Because I don't believe that people's weapons should be taken because I do believe that you should have them for your own safety. I believe that you should have them for hunting, whatever you're right. I just don't, first of all, where the problem is, and that's the one thing that's not being addressed, is you can go and buy these guns from gun shows and you can buy them online and you don't have to have the actual check like you do if you wouldn't and bought them from a gun store. And that's where the problem is I think is a main problem, is there's no, for whatever reason, you shouldn't be able to just go online or go to a gun show and then go, okay, now I want to purchase that magazine, or I want to purchase this assault weapon, and I don't have to have my background check. And that's another thing that needs to be addressed. You know what I'm saying? There are several things that should, because as long as you make sure that people have their rights, you should be able to do things in a adult manner where you say, you know what, we're going to instill these other rights for the rest of the population. It can't just be the Second Amendment right, people.
Right. I understand, and I can appreciate the fact of what you said. I like the fact that you're listening to the show and have an opinion, and that's what we're all about. Gun control is a very heated debate on both sides.
Yes.
Okay, and at the end of the day, there isn't really a right and a wrong. It's going to come down to a compromise.
Right. I agree with you. That's great.
It really is. Thanks for calling in. I have to take a break.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
And I'll put my heart up against yours any day.
News Talk 1380.
Are you an embarrassment on the dance floor? Do you confuse state capitals, make runny scrambled eggs, and read too many celebrity gossip magazines? Do you drink milk straight from the carton, think trigonometry is a planet, and snore louder than a Kodiak bear? Well, if you answered yes to any of the above questions, you may have what it takes to adopt a teen from foster care, because teens don't need perfection, they need you. So if you bite your nails like they're a snack food, think an MP3 is a computer virus, can't tell a right angle from an acute, constantly lose the remote, can't parallel park, confuse hip-hop with double dutch, and are afraid of spiders, dentists, and clowns, it's okay. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you. For more information on how you can adopt, call 1-888-200-4005 or go to adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, wherever the mission takes us, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Life can hit you with the unexpected. The loss of a job, a sudden illness, a dramatic jump in your mortgage payment, leaving you feeling helpless. If you've fallen behind on your mortgage, it's time to take control. You don't have to lose your home. The National Foundation for Credit Counseling can help. Call us at 866-687-6322 or visit mortgagehelpnow.org. Real solutions for real people.
NFCC member agencies are approved by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Welcome back to AVNewsCast.com on News Talk 1380. This is Heartless Jeff.
Yeah, there you go.
So you got a little beat up there. Okay,
that was good.
And, yesterday when our show was over, Dennis Miller comes on, and Dennis Miller followed up right after our show yesterday. Same topic. It was all about gun control, and all he did was take calls. Okay, and what was very interesting is there is no right and wrong, but people definitely have opinions. Okay. And he found himself trying to defend an opinion, okay? And it's the same kind of thing. It's the same thing. This morning, the LA Times printed a picture and ran an article on what is an assault rifle, okay? And which was very interesting. And so they post this picture, and it's a picture that looks like an AR-15. Or a Bushmaster. And, an assault weapon has a folding or telescoping sight. It has a magazine that carries 10 rounds or more. It has a bayonet mount and a flash suppressor. And immediately people started to comment, calling the LA Times, you idiot. Okay? Telling them, you idiot. Did you ever think of the fact that a true assault weapon has a lever that says full blast, burst,
full auto.
Okay. You missed that part, okay? And that's what everybody started to comment about, okay? And a true assault weapon that does actually allow you to make it full auto is illegal.
Right.
Okay? You can't get that.
You pull that trigger once, the entire magazine empties.
Yeah. Okay? That you can't get. Okay? Now, if you have a magazine that has 30 rounds, typically, Angelina, you have to pull the trigger 30 times.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm thinking he pulled it one time and all 30 came out.
No. The days of Al Capone and the machine gun are gone.
Okay.
Okay? That's gone. But everybody does have an opinion. Yesterday...
Can I just say something really fast? Because I think that what...
You can say it slow.
Well.
I think that one of the things that we need to pay attention to
That's
as a whole
voice.
is that we need to stop picking little details as to what we think is going to be the resolution, because like you mentioned before, when we had the restrictions about these assault rifles, that particular gun wasn't on the list. So let's not be so critical on what we can have restricted and what we can't have restricted, and pay attention to what your household needs to be and what you need to have inside your household to be the most protective of everybody else in the household and in the public.
Okay, but sending someone to your house to do a mental welfare check before you get a weapon is out of the... You know what?
Check them.
Do you realize
all these people that are doing
in America that has weapons?
Do you realize that all these nutcases
that agency would be bigger than the IRS?
Well, so be it. Then they need to. I mean, it's just what it is. I mean, I understand what you're saying to me, but it doesn't negate the need.
Okay. Well, hold on. Okay.
And can I say something else?
Yeah.
I'm on today. I'm sorry.
Is this going to be your sensual voice again?
Just stop it.
Okay.
So listen. On the break, you had mentioned there used to be a time where the police would say if an intruder came in your house, unload your gun.
Right.
And it's so funny because I think that shifted. I've been watching this program. It's called Panic 911. And it's actual 911 calls. And this woman, she's a single parent. She's got an 8-year-old in her house. She's got a gun. And she hears somebody trying to break in, so she gets her kid and she goes in her bedroom. She locks the door, and she has her gun in a lockbox. And the key is in the kitchen, so she has to pry it open with her hands. She's got the gun, and the 911 operator is like, "Okay, the police are in your complex. Before they come in there, you need to put your gun down." So this poor woman puts her gun down, and what do you think happened? The guy attacks her, and now she's fighting for her life. And that wasn't the first time that I heard that in the show. There was another woman that the man was trying to come through her window, and she said, "I have a gun," and excuse me, and the guy kept coming. He was only out of jail for 8 hours, this nutcase. And he had broke her window, and the 911 operator said, "Okay, the cops are coming down your driveway. You need to put your gun down." And she's like, "But he's coming through my window." And she blew him away, as she should have. But I'm just like, what are you talking about? These 911 operators telling these people to put their guns down when... What are they talking about?
Well, because here's the thing, okay? If the sheriff's department is pulling down a dirt street in Antelope Acres at 2 o'clock in the morning, and the homeowner's out there with a gun, he doesn't know who the homeowner is and who it's not. You don't want to be the guy standing there with the gun pointing it at the black and white.
No, I get that.
Thing.
But this is two totally different situations. She's in her bedroom. Someone's at her bedroom door breaking it down. She's in the closet with her kid. I understand that the police are in my complex, but the man's in my bedroom.
She should have shot through the door.
Yeah.
But she didn't. She put the gun down, and now the cops are getting this maniac off of her neck.
Okay. I would have put holes through the door. That's me. Okay?
Me too. Scared, too. Just
that's what I would have
felt
done.
terrible about it, but it had been done.
You know what? Should have stayed out of the house. Anybody that comes in the house not invited...
should stay out.
Yeah.
You're right.
There's a doorbell there for a reason.
That's right. That's right. And the house requires house keys to get through the door.
Yep.
And that's that. We talked yesterday about a large venture fund that unloaded all their stock in Freedom Firearms. Yesterday also, Bushmasters, the 223, were flying off the shelves across America.
Yeah.
Because people are sick.
You cannot, stores cannot keep them in stock. And it's not just stores, in the Midwest and all the way in Sacramento, in California. In Sacramento, they sold out yesterday.
I saw all these reports of companies taking them off the shelves. What are you talking about?
Okay, Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah, they did.
They took theirs. In fact, Dick's Sporting Goods took all guns out of the stores within 100 miles of Connecticut. Okay? None of the stores even sell weapons at all. Okay? Out of respect. And then the outer stores, yeah, they took all the Bushmasters out. Okay? They absolutely did. Walmart did too. I didn't even know Walmart sold them.
Okay. Where do they sell them?
Okay.
Yeah, I've only ever seen like BB guns. I've seen like shotgun ammo and stuff, but I've never seen the guns.
Yeah, Walmart issued a press release too. But at like discount shooters up north, outside of Sacramento and Roseville, they could not keep them in stock. There isn't a dealer that has a stock supply of Bushmasters today.
Well, people are worried they're not going to be able to get one after all.
Oh, that's so terrible.
And these people are paying up to 50% more than the value was a week ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, we've got to take another break.
Up.
All right, so you're listening to AV Newscast on News Talk 1380. Yeah, thanks. And we'll be right back.
News Talk 1380.
I have some exciting news for sports fans out there. Or if you like to go to concerts or theater, this is for you too. I'd love to take my two sons to a football game, but geez, have you seen the prices of those tickets? But I've discovered a new site called scorebig.com. And get this, you can get tickets to NFL, baseball, NBA, always below box office price guaranteed. This scorebig.com grabs unsold tickets and sells them at huge discounts. So you can save up to 60% on VIP tickets. And there's even more exciting news for radio listeners. Go to scorebig.com right now and you'll get an additional $15 off. That's an extra $15 off already incredibly low price tickets. Remember, tickets at scorebig.com are already up to 60% below box office price. And for a limited time, radio listeners get an additional $15 off. But hurry, the only way to get in on this amazing deal is to go to scorebig.com and type in the promo code 8686 at checkout. That's scorebig.com, promo code 8686.
Happy holidays from Alan Jackson Pools. May the spontaneous joy of the holidays give you the happiness fix needed to meet the new year with love and acceptance. From everyone at Alan Jackson Pools in Palmdale. They don't just build pools, they build friendships. Online at alanjacksonpools.com.
Thank you, Antelope Valley, for voting Carpeteria 80's best floor store. And to celebrate, we're doing free baseboards with any hardwood floor purchase. That's right, free baseboards only at Carpeteria. Call us now at 951-2200. Happy holidays from Carpeteria.
Hello again. This is Bob Alvis of AV Veterans Talk here on News Talk 1380. When you hear this,
Mustang 6 Golf Foxtrot cleared for takeoff.
That means you're getting ready to fly. And that's just what we do every Friday from 11 a.m. till noon, right between Dennis Miller and Sean Hannity. Each week, we fly right into the subjects that are important to our Valley's veterans and pay tribute to those who have served and sacrificed on behalf of our country. So tune in and join our formation. Check us out on Facebook at AV Veterans or call us at 266-4420. So for now, it's wheels up and blue skies. Bob out.
Welcome back to AVNewsCast.com. If you want to beat up on Jeff, our phone number is 661-266-4420.
Yeah, give us a call. I just heard Bob Alvis's commercial running during our show.
Mm-hmm.
I ran into him on the boulevard last night.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and remind me after the show, I got to send him a bill for that commercial.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. If you're listening, Bob, check your mailbox.
Yep.
There you
go. He's pretty upset about them bulldozing that Adobe house there in Lancaster.
Bob has lots of opinions.
Yeah.
He does.
And
I like
big
that.
about preserving the history of the Valley. And
well, they
can't
should.
blame him for getting upset with.
Yeah, no, they should have. Why did they knock it down?
Because they want to put a park in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, yesterday, one of our state senators, and actually I was going to call Steve Knight this morning and see if I could get his comments, but I ran out of time. And I didn't want to push him for that either, to tell you the truth. But
push him. That's what he's there for.
Well, okay. Yesterday, Senator Kevin DeLeon, Democrat out of Los Angeles, he is one of our state senators. He's also the chairman of the Democratic Caucus, and he also serves on the very powerful Senate Rules Committee, announced that he is introducing a bill. And his bill is going to be the California Ammunition Purchase Permit. And basically, here's the thing. It works like this. In order to buy ammunition, you're going to have a permit. And that permit is issued and cleared through the Department of Justice. It's good for 1 year. And in order to get the permit, they have to run background checks. in order to buy ammunition. And what they found is, in Sacramento, over the last 3 to 4 years, 349 people who were completely prohibited from buying ammunition bought ammunition.
Yeah.
Okay? 275 of them were convicted felons on violent crimes. Okay? But went in and bought. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to stop that, which actually will could possibly stop some of the gang violence, or ammunition is going to be like prohibition.
Yeah,
okay?
I mean, we need to start buying stock in Arizona and Nevada gun stores.
Yeah, or it's going to be something like that.
It'll be next to the moonshine.
But that is a step, perhaps, in a direction to try to curtail something.
It is a step, but I will say again, she had her weapons licensed. She was able to buy it. It wasn't anything prohibiting. I mean, that in her house, she did it correct. So it's not so much an issue of making sure that everyone buys it correctly. It's about how you're keeping it.
Exactly. She didn't have it correctly stored.
And that's why you need somebody checking you.
Right.
That's why you need it.
Okay.
Now, shut down half of the IRS and let them go.
There you go. Okay.
Knocking on doors.
If you are arrested in California and you are convicted of a felony, and they put you on probation or parole or what have you, one of the things is, do you own any firearms? If you do have any firearms, you have 24 hours to get rid of them, and they have to be gone from the house. Okay, you can't possess them. Maybe another thing is, if you happen to have somebody that resides in your house that you're considering having committed, maybe you need to get rid of your weapons. Okay?
Or your neighbor will say he's a nutcase.
And be more responsible.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, you put him in a self-storage locker until he's committed.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people. I heard people yesterday on Dennis Miller's show, really berating this mutant's mom. Okay, which I thought was really unfair.
It is. I think it's unfair too because we just don't have the health care available for mental health individuals right now. But I think that all these parents that are calling in saying, "This is my son," this is their disclaimers because their kids are about to go nuts. On somebody.
She had access to mental health. I mean, whatever she needed, she had an income just from her husband of $250,000 a year.
What I'm saying, it's not. What I'm saying is that they're not. America is not set up to say, you know what, this child can't make right choices. So let's have a little community, a little, like private school setting set up where that kid's comings and goings is monitored 24/7. We don't have that here. We don't put our kids away in mental institutions when you spit out a child that has mental issues. You don't do that anymore. And so we need to visit that again.
Give birth?
What I'm saying is, spit them out. Okay. What I'm saying is, you'll hear stories of kids that are 6 years old and mothers are waking up and the kid is next to their bed with a knife. That's the kid that you're supposed to take to the clinic and say, okay, you're going to need to take care of him. It's killing me, but he's going to kill somebody. And we don't have anything like that. It's like, okay, we'll just medicate him. That's what they do.
Well, I don't know that that's a kid that you need to take to the clinic. And
really?
Well, I don't know. You're a
6-year-old. You're sleeping. Your 6-year-old is next to your bed with a knife.
I would have issues too. Okay.
What is that going to grow up to be?
Maybe I don't know. There's an anger problem there. Maybe you did something. I don't know. I don't know, but clearly, there has to be something, and I don't have the answers. I'm just listening to what a lot of people are saying, and I know that if people are mentally unstable in the house, perhaps there should not be weapons in that house.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's a bad thing, but at the same time, the guy in Aurora, Colorado, rather, he was a very smart person.
Yeah.
Okay, as many of them are.
Yeah.
Okay. He didn't display traits that he was mentally ill.
Well, look at the college student. He was I think he was in the master's program at UCLA or USC, and the campus police had to shoot him because he just went crazy. It was a couple weeks ago. What's your theory?
And look at the mind like one of those, and Cindy's probably rolling her eyes because I've said this a million times before, but you look at a mind like one of those metal sheds you get from Sears to keep your rakes and your lawnmower and everything in. And I think intelligence is like snow. And you can only heap so much snow on top of one of those sheds before it collapses in on itself. I've worked with a lot of CT guys, the crypto guys when I was in the military, all the code breakers and stuff. Brilliant mathematicians. Not a one of them right. Not a lick of common sense.
No, yeah, there's definitely something lacking.
But I mean,
so it comes down as simple as snow load.
Yeah,
apparently,
pretty much.
I don't even understand it, but that's what he said.
No, it's
your
you can only be
collapse.
so intelligent before you tip over the edge. Yeah. I've seen it.
Well, you've got Dianne Feinstein, who's introducing her bill into Congress. Now, this morning, and it could be happening, what time is it now? It's going to be in a couple of minutes.
8:40.
The President of the United States is going live on TV.
Yeah.
And he is going to announce that Vice President Joe Biden is going to oversee this new regulation of whatever it's going to be.
Right.
We don't know exactly what it's going to be yet, but he's going to oversee it. Now, the President yesterday said that he supports 100% what Dianne Feinstein's doing. He supports that 100%, and he's got a long list of other things that people have suggested that he is supporting as well. So it's going to be, some things are definitely going to happen, and it's going to be sooner than later. But
in the meantime, they need to put cops in all the schools. I get we don't have any money, but maybe not go around the moon another time and divvy up that money to fund police in all the schools.
All the time during school hours, there should be an armed law enforcement person there. That's not what America's come down to.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
We should just leave them naked and hope to God they don't get shot.
No, absolutely not.
So
what happened was horrific, but you don't see that every day.
No, you don't. But you still got to protect them in case.
How many
somebody
schools
else
are
wants
there? And it's.
But
you're not playing the odds.
Which kids are not worth protecting?
I actually saw there were like 249,000 schools across the country. I saw an interesting post and suggestion just the other day, and somebody said, "You know what? We've got 1,500,000 active duty service members currently right now, and we've got X amount that are overseas right now. Okay, let's just bring the ones that are overseas. Let's just bring them back
and take care of our own,
and just put one at each school."
Works for me.
Okay. Put them in their fatigues.
We should mind our own business for once.
But you know what? That's not what we've come down to.
Oh, okay.
Okay? No, look, already, it's very difficult to fly anywhere, and you got to get through the TSA, and look what's happened since 9/11. And now, all of a sudden, we're going to put armed law enforcement officers at every single K-8 school?
Do I want that? Do I want my kid to see somebody with a gun every day? No, I don't. But I also don't want to see that ever repeated, ever.
No one wants to see it repeated.
No, I know that no one does. But what I'm saying is we can't say, I don't want to put, an armed guard there because should we be that country? Well, we are that country. We're the country that nutcases get to go do what they want to do.
Well, I was listening yesterday to a caller on somebody else's show who was the principal of a school in the Midwest. All right? At that particular school, and within that county, there are 2 teachers there that have concealed weapons permits. The only people at the school that know who those 2 people are is the principal. Okay? And it's at several schools within that county that teachers are armed at the school. No one knows who is armed, but the principal does. The principal doesn't have a concealed weapons permit, but there are 2 teachers there that do. Should anything happen, they are there to defend.
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay, that's an interesting concept.
It is interesting.
Just as many judges in the L.A. County Superior Court system sitting behind the bench are armed.
Yeah, well, they probably should be.
Well, okay. And there have been instances where people have, gone nuts. So, that's an interesting thing. But then again, at some of these schools, the elementary school that my son went to, and I'm not even going to say what it is, I can't even imagine one teacher there that I would want to be on. Okay,
I can think of a couple people at my daughter's school, and ask for volunteers, have some training. Pay for the training.
Lots
That's
of
fine.
training. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure they wouldn't have any trouble finding somebody.
Well,
go through the background checks, go through the mental health evaluations,
or at least
them,
let that be known that that's what we're doing, and maybe it'll be a deterrent from attacking these schools, because you never know.
But then, what do most of these people do? They blow their heads off afterwards. So.
Yeah, chicken.
First. Yeah.
All right, we got to take one more break.
Yes, sir.
All right, send us away.
All right, you're listening to AVNewsCast.com on News Talk 1380. We'll see you in just a moment.
News Talk 1380.
In today's economy, we have to be smart about our financial future. We need a knowledgeable financial advisor to direct us. Alan Rosenberg of Cal City Financial has over 20 years' experience in helping people in the AV and is a registered representative of Multi-Financial Securities Corporation. Multi-Financial is an independent managed financial service firm, so Alan has the freedom to choose what is right for his clients.
Hi, I'm Alan Rosenberg of Cal City Financial, and I have the ability to choose what's right for my clients. Whether it's mutual funds, insurance, or annuities, I look at every single situation individually. The first thing I do is find out as much as I can about each client's needs and their goals. I listen. There's people out there willing to tell you what to do with your money and how to plan financially, but finding someone you can trust and can communicate with, that's the key. My recommendations are based on your needs. You need to trust I'm doing what's best to secure your financial future. I stand alone because I listen.
For answers you're looking for, call Alan of Cal City Financial at 888-447-6870. That's 888-447-6870.
Alan Rosenberg is an investment advisor representative of Multi-Financial Securities Corporation, member FINRA SIPC. Cal City Financial and Multi-Financial Securities Corporation are not affiliated.
We're here wishing you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from Antelope Valley Harley-Davidson. Did you know that we got everything for Harley riders or non-Harley riders? We have stuff for your house, your car, your kids, and even your dog. Collectibles, clothing, footwear, leather, accessories. We carry the perfect gifts for anyone. You can't decide? We even have gift cards. And when you're ready to ride, we have your new or used Harley-Davidson in stock and ready for you to ride home with financing available. So remember, we're located off the 14 freeway between J&K and Lancaster, or call 948-5959 or visit us on the web at AntelopeValleyHD.com.
In the next minute, 156 people will be added to Earth's population. But overpopulation is not just a numbers game. It's also about a better quality of life, which includes access to basic health care, food, clean water, and a sustainable balance between people and our natural resources. If you think overpopulation is such a big problem that you can't make a difference, think again. Learn more at populationconnection.org, a public service from Population Connection.
And welcome back to AVNewsCast.com on News Talk 1380.
Talking about Senator De Leon, he had originally introduced a bill, and Governor Schwarzenegger in 2009 signed it. It was an anti-gang neighborhood protection act that covered handgun ammunition. Okay, they had originally signed that, and the governor at that time signed it into law. And that has been tied up and still is currently tied up in the court system with the NRA that has been legally challenging the fact that there is no such thing as anything called handgun ammunition. That legal phrase.
Come on.
And since 2009, that has still been tied up in court.
Because of the phrase.
Because of the phrase.
This is what I'm saying.
Okay.
People just, it's ridiculous. So despite how many kids or parents or babies or whatever we could have prevented getting shot with this so-called handgun ammunition, we're just going to hold it up in court.
Well, part of the thing that we were talking about yesterday was the fact, we have these terrible, heinous mass murders. But at the same time, in inner cities all across America where you have a concentration of gangs, there's a lot of gunfighting going on there on a daily basis.
Yeah, it is.
And so one thing that they were looking at is finding a way to curtail that. Another thing that we don't talk about and haven't talked about is we can talk about the terrible tragedy that happened in Connecticut, and that's really uncomfortable for everybody. But across America, every single day, there's a homeowner that's using a weapon to defend himself inside his house to protect himself. Okay? And they're using it righteously and the correct way. Nobody talks about that. Okay? Nobody talks about the fact that These weapons are used for the right purpose, okay, or for a necessary purpose to save your life.
Mm-hmm.
All across America, every single day, and no one talks about the pluses. It's only the minuses.
Well,
no, because we
that's
change
what
our
we're
whole
supposed to talk
society
about.
based on one nut.
No, it's not one nut.
Okay.
It's not one nut.
Right. But now we want to go
How
after...
many are there out there based on the entire population of the United States? It's
How many does it need to
small
be?
Fraction.
How many times does this need to happen for it to be an issue?
62. You happy?
That's
You got a
shame.
number.
That's a
We
shame.
had that yesterday.
That's disgusting.
62. Okay. But you know what? Now we're going to go after the gaming industry, the entertainment industry, and all these people because they make movies that maybe have violence in them? And say that that's no good? Because that set the kid off?
Are you trying to get an adverse reaction from me? Because I'm not seeing a problem.
Yeah, I think that's completely wrong.
Okay.
I think that's entirely
Well, that's what we've been
wrong.
doing, and this is where we are. So if you say to yourself, this is where we are, do we like this? No. Then we need to do something absolutely different.
What kind of car did the mother drive? Do you know?
I don't know.
Because I'm just thinking maybe we should ban those cars.
Yeah.
Because
That's how
maybe
he got
there's
there.
some link between the
If
type
he would have
of
ran
car.
those kids down, maybe I'd talk to you about that.
Really?
But he didn't
Really?
run those
Banning
kids
it?
down.
Banning
No,
that
I'm being just as ridiculous as he is when he's talking about the car.
No, because I think
You're going
I
to knock
think-
out those PT Cruisers because you.
But
ran
I
those
did
kids
feel
up.
I did feel the same way when the older gentleman ran all those people down at that fair. Was it a fair or was it a fruit stand out in L.A.?
The
And he
farmer's
just,
market?
yeah,
In
went
Santa
down,
Monica?
like 6 blocks of people. Just like, okay, well, maybe there should be a limit or some kind of extra testing
Oh, a limit.
when you get to
Yeah.
a certain age.
You can only bag 5. Okay?
62.
Just like duck hunting.
Man.
No, I don't see the correlation. There hasn't been a link, any scientific
Here we
link
go.
showing that video games are responsible for this.
But they keep coming up.
Well, of course, they do keep coming up.
They do.
They
and
do.
he certainly loved playing that game.
And you know who's bringing
I
them up?
bet he liked orange juice.
It's the
Let's
same.
ban that too.
Right.
It's
the
got
same-
sugar. It got him amped up.
But it doesn't look like the gun next to the game.
No, but the sugar actually
But the
causes
gun-
a change
but
in
the
his
gun
brain, a
that he
physical
used-
change that you can monitor.
The gun that he stole from his mom probably looked a lot like the gun
Ask
that
Harvey
he played.
Milk about sugar in their diet.
But there are billions and billions and billions of people, kids and adults, playing first-person shooter games all over the world right this very second. Okay? And there aren't mass murderers and killers.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay?
We all know that.
There aren't. I do agree. First thing, I do agree. Any assault weapon that has a full auto trigger on it, I don't think that's a good thing. Okay?
No, that has no purpose outside the military.
No. Okay? And see,
Or law enforcement.
now you got Jeff's agreement right there.
Ooh.
Okay?
It's
So what about stricter ownership regulations and laws?
Stricter ownership? Yes. Should there be a background check? Is there a history of mental illness in the family? Okay, fine.
Who's going to say yes to that, though? When you're
I
filling out that application, if you got some nut cases in your family, you going to admit that?
You know what? I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. And well, maybe that's going to be your GMO group. That's going to go out
You
now
really
and they're going
shouldn't
to
refer
check.
to the GMO group like that because you're making it like it's a trivial conversation, and it's not. I understand that you don't think that food should have been monitored or anything, but you can't equate that. That's so disrespectful.
No, what I'm saying is you can't form a government agency that's going to go out and visit every single gun owner, okay, and give them an IQ test.
I didn't say an IQ test. I said to check the house to see if it was being locked up correctly. Isn't that what I said?
Do you know how many homes they would have to go to?
I don't care how many
Where
homes
are we
going to
get the
go to.
resources for that?
We need to figure it out because obviously we have a problem. So we can't just say, we have a problem. I hope it doesn't happen again. We need to do something about it.
America doesn't have the resources. America doesn't have the
that's true.
resources to go out physically on a timely manner
So
and
what,
just
we
do
just
a
gotta
welfare check on foster children to make sure that they're
That's the
being
truth.
raised correctly.
That is the truth.
That's just foster kids. So now we're going to expand it exponentially to the nth power, and they're going to now go check to make sure that everybody that has any weapon is storing them correctly.
Listen, I get what you're saying in that aspect of your argument, but it doesn't negate the need. It doesn't. It doesn't say, okay, well, let's not do anything because we can't do something.
Okay, well, in certain places in America, especially if there are children in the house, there are laws on how you have to, and where you have to have your weapon, and how it has to be stored.
Who makes sure that you're obeying those laws? Who makes sure?
It comes down to a trust factor.
Come on, you can't be trusting nobody with a gun.
In places in America, and we
like
can
that?
talk about California, okay? We could talk about California. If you have children in the house and you have a gun under your mattress, you are breaking the law. But there are many people that keep a gun under their mattress so they can stop the guy that's coming through their door to attack their children.
Listen, I heard of someone that says that they have their gun completely locked up well, when they're not there, but at night they take their gun out and it's by their bed.
Okay.
And everybody's in the house. The kids are in the house. If the kids get squirrely and want to play with the gun and the mom is sleeping, it's ridiculous.
Okay.
Where's the protection there? And for all we know, she could have had her gun next to her bed because that's what she was thinking, and he just politely picked it up and blew her in the face 4 times.
Right, and let me just say that in many instances where children have gotten a hold of a gun, it's a curiosity factor. Yeah. And they were not taught, and it was not explained.
Yeah, in many cases, but in a lot of cases, that's not the case.
Because
I know of one that the kids were trained on how to use the guns, but they're kids and they were playing wrong and they shot their brother.
Right.
I mean, so you can't say, train the kids because it's going to prevent them from wanting to play with it. No, they still play with it sometimes and they still shoot somebody.
Well, it sounds to me like those were the kids that when mom or dad said no, they said, too bad, I'm going to do whatever I want.
I don't know what the case was. Regardless of the case, they were trained and he shot his brother.
Okay. Point I'm trying to make is just because a situation happens, you cannot change everything to try to prevent that's never going to happen again because there is no simple answer. There isn't a simple answer.
That was my point all the way along.
So you think it should be just status quo? Don't change anything?
No, you know what?
And so it's extremism versus non-action. That's the only options you're giving us?
Well, I'm just asking. What do you think? What do you think we should do at this point? Do you think we should just say, dang, that's just too sad, and just move on and hope it doesn't happen again?
No, I think the first thing is, obviously, and we all agree, and most of America will agree, any weapon out there that has a select full auto switch shouldn't be out there, okay? Now, the next thing is, let's look at magazines that have 30 rounds. Jeff's argument, I can't disagree with Jeff, but at the same time, I can't agree with our earlier caller because it's a very difficult thing, okay? Do you need 30 rounds? No. But at the same time, if somebody came through my door, I'm going to empty all 30 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So
check your heart, Steve. Check your heart.
There is no simple answer, but it's going to come down to a compromise.
Well, I just asked if we should do something, and you're skating.
No, and you know what? If our legislators and the people that make these laws said, listen, we don't necessarily agree that it's fair that we remove or stop selling 30-round magazines or extended magazines. We don't think it's fair, but that's the compromise, and that's what we're going to say. We want you to keep your guns, but that's going to be the compromise. Then that's going to be the compromise.
Yeah. You guys are ridiculous.
No, what?
I mean, because yesterday when I said compromise yourself by saying no more video games that are violent and shooting up people, people that look like people. I mean, at least make them look like aliens so that the nutcases are not associating it with little kids or real people. You guys are like, no, don't take away my right to be able to shoot little things on the TV. I mean, the bottom line is do what's best for the community as a whole.
Okay,
because there's nutcases out there.
Then stop making movies like Pirates of the Caribbean because it's got too much violence.
They should.
Star Wars had a lot of violence.
Then stop. I don't mind not watching that if it means that someone is not going to get killed. And I think that's the big difference in the world. The big difference is, do you mind taking one for the team and saying, I'm going to not do this, this, and this, because there might be nutcases out there that might misconstrue that information and shoot somebody.
No, and when it comes to video games, no, I absolutely
That's a
don't
shame.
agree. Oh, we're out of here for today. We're going to be leaving, but we'll
Shame
be back
on
in
you
2
too,
days.
Steve.
Okay, I'm sorry we don't agree on this one, but I still love you.
Love you too.
All right, so you're listening to AV Newscast on News Talk 1380. We'll be back on Friday morning, and thanks for listening.